And we want to put some questions to two people who have expressed some interest in what the president has said so far. And joining us via Skype is Richard Elima. He is the Executive Director for Center for Social Impact, and we want to put a few questions to him. Richard, good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining us. To start with, the president, at least since assuming office, has been quite categorical and said that yes, they will fight the Galamsey menace, but has also indicated that it's going to be a tough one, looking at how widespread it is. You think that is a call strong enough coming from the first gentleman of the land?
Well, I think to the extent that we got the president to make that comment, to express his government's willingness to deal with the problem, I believe it is a step in the right direction, and we can only hope that in the coming days we will see some concrete action on the ground to deal with the problem.
All right, and going forward, what do you think government approach should be in dealing with this holistically?
Well, first of all, we need to have a basket of solutions to the problem. In the past, we have only used one approach, that is to use the military against these Galamsey operators. But we need a much broader approach. And when I talk of broader approach, first of all, let's look at the interests involved. There are those who are doing Galamsey as a means of livelihood, the communities, more or less like artisanal mining. There are those who are doing it as a business, and then we have the foreigners who are also into it. So when you segment these different interests, then you will be able to apply the needed solution to each of them. So for instance, for those who are doing it for livelihood reasons, it's basically because of the unemployment situation in the communities. We expect government to come up with a comprehensive alternative livelihood program that will absorb these youth and dissuade them from doing Galamsey. For those who are doing it for business purposes, let's also understand that there are Ghanaians who have money and they want to do genuine mining. So can we help them secure the license to do it properly? Can the EPA and the Minerals Commission come in and regulate their operations so that they do not do any further damage to the environment? And then finally, we have these foreigners who have come in to do mining. They are doing it illegally. The law doesn't allow it. So for such group of people, we can use the military to get them off. So these baskets of solutions can, if adopted by the government, can address the problem sustainably.
Right. And my final question to you would be, looking at the impact it has already had on communities, what role can these communities play in ensuring that the people who undertake such illegality are smoked out and dealt with decisively by the law?
I think it is important to empower community people. They need to be empowered. And one way of empowering them is to probably go back and look at our law. Do communities have a say in whether mining goes on in a community or not? Currently, the answer is no. But if we adopt the free, prior, informed consent, then communities will be empowered so that whenever a mining company is coming into a community, whether it is a large-scale company or a small-scale company or a Galamsey, the communities will then decide whether to accept the company or not. In the case of the Galamsey, the communities have to understand that the short-term benefit of Galamsey, it's not sustainable. They need to have that understanding. And once that understanding is drummed home, I'm sure that they will form the best bulwark against Galamsey. They live with the people the Galamsey operators, the community people live with them. So they can drive them away if we so desire. Okay. So I will advocate that we empower the communities so that they can fight the Galamsey menace on behalf of government.
Right. We are grateful for your insights and your thoughts, Richard Elima. He is the Executive Director for Center for Social Impact Studies, and giving us his position on issues regarding the Galamsey and the promise the President has made that he will at least initiate the fight against Galamsey, and how they intend to come up with the strategy of fighting galamsey. We've been joined in studio also by Nana Sapong Ajiman Bedu. He's a member of Occupy Ghana, and they have in recent times released a statement to join the fight against galamsey. And I think that I am already liking the nationwide concern being shown towards how we can fight the galamsey menace. We'll be putting a few questions to him, how they as a pressure group can either put pressure on the executive or probably the legislature or we as individuals to fight galamsey. Before that though, an interesting video is going viral or has gone viral. A middle-aged man claiming to be an illegal miner has warned the president, Nana Addo-Dankwa, to initiate moves to stop the illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey. The man, who is seen in a video that we'll be showing to you in a bit, is saying that he is an illegal miner and that the president must think of how his move or decision will affect the livelihood of many families who depend on the galamsey activities. Let's watch this.
Matisa wa ba he so ba galamsey wa ba tutumu ba ba yeti sports skill mining e fine ko si wo yesrew wa ba no but na se di empress and behavior amanfo gu mi pet mo amanfo papafo ne amanfo man amanfo yeremu ne gu ase ade tia wo ya no mo ya dididi omo mo ti he ni na omo mo da he so mo mu fi omo ne ti ase. You're not dropped off or your night. I can say our bread. That's wrong. And not to Abano. You're big to the year. I'm far about Mount Zebra. And then back to it. Galea, Naya, you are Wadaroma.
All right, so I am taken aback by that. Nana, thank you for joining us. That is someone who is clearly defiant and says that they would ensure that they go on with this because that is their only source of livelihood. How does this hit Occupy Ghana, and at what point do you think that pressure must be made bare on such people?
Yeah, thank you, and good afternoon to your viewers. And I'm disgusted by that video. I saw it last week, and it's really got me personally annoyed about this whole thing. And I think, without hesitation, this gentleman should be arrested, should be invited by national security. And the question I would also put is that, is it gold for a few or water for many? That's how we should tackle this galamsey issue. Are we going to serve the interest, selfish interests of such people, or are we going to save the livelihoods of many millions of Ghanaians who depend on the water that these people are destroying? And we at Occupy Ghana, we are incensed by the rate at which galamsey, you know, it's going. We're seeing it as a selfish interest, keep on destroying our water bodies and our forests. It could come to a point where we will be facing drought and famine because now the lands, as is going on right now, they are destroying the lands with chemicals, polluting it with chemicals, which won't sustain plant life. They are destroying the water bodies, which is killing aquatic life. And you know, already we hear in Takrady there's serious water rationing. It's not like they don't have water, but there is a lot of water, but Ghana water can't treat the water. So we must all show some concern and show some alarm.
What would Occupy Ghana's submission be if, for instance, the president asks you, maybe he's taking inputs on how to address the issue? What would the input from Occupy Ghana?
Yeah, first of all, he should ban all forms of illegal mining, whether large scale or small scale. All forms of illegal mining should be banned. That
would be difficult because we have the legitimate mining, which is small scale.
Yeah,
they are actually a registered, you know, body that manages or handles.
Yeah, they are registered, but the ones which are not registered, they should be clamped down and should be stopped.
So
immediately. The illegal one, and the illegal one is what we call galamsey. because we know the illegal ones, the small-scale mining, which is, and even with those registered ones, the regulation should apply to them, because looking at the value chain, some of the legal ones are buying from the illegal ones. Therefore, they are sort of funding their activities. So those ones also should be looked at the value chain, where these illegal guys are able to sell off their gold to the various people, which ends up coming to precious minerals. You know, that means that the country itself is indirectly purchasing illegal gold from these illegal miners. Then also, as we said, the laws should be enforced.
Okay.
I mean, the Minerals Act, you know, it stipulates that any person who is involved in illegal mining should be fined about 36,000 cedis or jailed for a minimum of 5 years. Any foreigner should be fined 360,000 or be jailed for about 20 years. And if you're a Ghanaian who is supporting an illegal foreigner in this illegal venture, you should also be fined about 24,000 and be jailed between 5 to 10 years. Okay. So it's all about reinforcing.
So we have the laws.
We have the laws.
But then the enforcement
is a problem. And there are people in the communities. I visited Takwa last year myself. I spoke to some Galamsey kingpins, you know, and they say that for them, they deal with working on the land. Okay. You know, but the people destroying the water bodies are those who do it in collaboration with some of these Chinese guys. And they do not endorse it. But when people go and report, opinion leaders report to the police. Opinion leaders come in to beg on behalf of these people destroying water bodies. So we shouldn't allow these people, you know, to have their leeway. The law enforcement bodies must also, and some of them are even implicated in these activities of the Galamsey, because obviously these machines don't get there by magic.
Their own. Certainly, people bring them in, and that is where some people have raised concerns about the role of politicians, traditional authorities, and
the law enforcement agencies,
religious leaders, and people who are supposed to be enforcing the law themselves, policemen, soldiers, who are involved in this. So the fight, like the president said, is going to be Herculean, but then it must start from somewhere. And we at TV3 are already on a sustained fight, a sustained campaign to ensure that we get to the bottom of this, to get the president, the government, and every single Ghanaian helping in the fight against Galamsey. We want to leave it here for now. Nana Sapon Jimambedu, he's a member of Occupy Ghana, and he's been sharing his position, or Occupy Ghana's position, on how they also intend to help in the fight against Galamsey. Thank you. Thank you very much. And
thank you, sir.
Together we win as a nation against such an illegality.